This is our land!
No, Mayor!
It's hello, Mayor!
Master Pancake's John Erler here to help you remember what happened previously on Avatar. In 2009, Avatar was released, becoming the highest-grossing movie in the history of the world, earning a little under $3 billion worldwide during its theatrical run. Since its release, no Star Wars, Jurassic Park, or Marvel movie has been able to knock Avatar from its perch. Who is the mastermind behind this phenomenal cinematic achievement? Well, that would be one James Cameron, a Canadian truck driver who quit his job when Star Wars came out in 1977 so that he could work in film. He started out as a special effects artist on films like Battle Beyond the Stars in 1980 and Escape from New York in 1981. His first movie as a director was 1981's B-list exploitation film Piranha 2: The Spawning.
I'll be back.
From there, he took a huge jump to the big leagues, writing and directing The Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. After that, he never looked back, with a string of blockbusters including Aliens, The Abyss, T2, True Lies, Titanic, and Avatar. He also directed 2 documentaries, Ghosts of the Abyss and Aliens of the Deep. And he executive produced Point Break.
This was never about money for us. It was about us against the system.
What can we conclude with confidence about James Cameron? Well, 3 things. Number 1, aside from Piranha 2, he only directs movies beginning with the letter T, or A, or both, depending on how you alphabetize. Number 2, he loves water. In fact, he's an avid deep-sea diver.
I love this part.
And in 2012, he broke the world record for deepest solo dive when he went down 7 miles below the surface of the Pacific Ocean into the Mariana Trench, all by himself. And lastly, number 3, never bet against James Cameron. He shocked the world in 1997 with Titanic, which became the highest-grossing movie of all time. And then he beat his own record 13 years later when Avatar dethroned Titanic to become, and remain to this day, the highest-grossing movie of all time. Despite its success, there were snobs who turned up their noses at Avatar even before it was made. They said it was too full of tree-hugging, hippie, hairy-legged, Birkenstocks-wearing bullshit. The head of Fox even asked Cameron if he could just take all that out.
And I said, actually, no, because the reason I want to make the film is exactly because of the tree-hugging, hippie, hairy-legged, Birkenstocks-wearing, bullshit.
The snobs said the plot was too similar to FernGully. The snobs said it ripped off Dances with Wolves. The snobs kept talking about something called cultural impact. Those snobby gatekeepers said Avatar never achieved the same cultural impact as the other mega blockbuster franchises. Can you even name any of the main characters from Avatar, they complained? And maybe they had a point. Everybody knows Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Spider-Man, Thor, maybe even Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm. There's only been one Avatar movie in the last 13 years, plus one Disney theme park attraction, one stage version by Cirque du Soleil, McDonald's Happy Meal toys, a Coke Zero tie-in that allowed customers to use a can of Coke to maneuver a helicopter from the movie, a handful of Avatar video games across several platforms, an appearance by Zoe Saldana on Space Ghost, Ben Stiller in Na'vi makeup at the Oscars, and an extended product placement on Bones in which the boys, including Avatar actor Joel David Moore, spend the entire episode planning on camping out to see Avatar like it's Phantom Menace. So here now to get you up to speed is a very easy recap of the plot of Avatar. A well-intentioned but rough around the edges young man works for a company that sends giant machines to extract the natural resources of a remote paradise almost untouched by the human race. Our hero is endowed with the ability to blend in seamlessly with the natives, gets accidentally left behind, and has to live among them. During that time, he falls in love with a beautiful princess and learns the ways of the land, including how to harness and ride some indigenous wild creatures, a source of jealousy and respect among the local warriors.
He's kind of small, ain't he?
There's a mysterious, almost addictive substance hidden in the trees that causes humans to become monstrously greedy. In the end, our hero and heroine team up and use all the resources of the land to fight and overcome the machines threatening to destroy their home. Sorry, okay, that's actually the plot of FernGully.
Truth doesn't always win friends, but it certainly influences people.
Okay, for real, here's what happened previously on Avatar. The year is 2154 and Earth's resources are depleted, so the Resources Development Administration, or RDA, sends teams out to find resources in far-off galaxies. Our protagonist is Jake Sully, who travels to planet Pandora in the Alpha Centauri system to help search for the extremely well-named and highly desirable mineral unobtainium.
At last, after 2,000 years of work, the Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator.
Jake wasn't supposed to be on this mission, but his twin brother died and they needed someone with the same DNA to control the avatar they already made. Basically, he fit the suit. Dr. Grace Augustine is the head of the research team. Her personality traits include being a curmudgeon with a heart of gold, smoking on the job, and hating Jake because he doesn't have a PhD.
No, Grace.
No, man, this is such bullshit.
But Jake quickly learns how to control his avatar, a giant alien host body that he inhabits and controls while he sleeps in an electronic coffin. Jake is part of the rich tradition of movie characters who make the jump from real world to virtual world, in which their alter ego completes their heroic journey.
I friggin' love you!
I friggin' love you back!
The humanoid inhabitants of the planet Pandora are called Na'vi. They are part of the rich tradition of movie characters who are blue.
I'm blue, I've been deed, I've been died, 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 I've been deed, I've been died.
Smurfs are like getting kids used to seeing blue people.
I'm not sure exactly what shade they are, so let's just call them Na'vi Blue. Sorry. And the cargo shorts that the scientists wear on Pandora are purchased from old Na'vi. Sorry again. Jake meets and falls in love with Neytiri, daughter of Moat, the spiritual leader of the Na'vi clan. Jake learns the ways of the Na'vi, including swimming, archery, and being able to form a spiritual bond with local animals by physically connecting their antennae to the connector at the end of their neural ponytail. Basically, a hair plug.
Don't play with that, you'll go blind.
That's kind of freaky.
Our main antagonist is the evil Colonel Quaritch, a tough-as-nails military type who seems to have been scratched on his face by a raptor or a monster energy drink somewhere in his past. In the climax of the movie, Colonel Quaritch leads an attack against the Na'vi in order to capture the vast amounts of unobtainium that lie under the home tree, the center of Pandora's neural network. In the attack, Quaritch kills Neytiri's father and destroys the home tree. Now the Na'vi hate Jake, who they see as a double agent. So Jake decides to win back their trust by neurally connecting with one of the most powerful and difficult to ride creatures in Na'vi culture, the Toruk. It's like a dragon or a sandworm or a fruit bat. And because of white saviorism, he is able to do this with no problem, thus winning back the trust of the Na'vi, uniting the various clans, fulfilling prophecies, and generally being the chosen one. Quaritch finds the container where Jake's human body is sleeping and busts it open, exposing Jake to the poisonous Pandoran atmosphere. Quaritch, now wearing a kind of loader suit from Aliens,
Get away from her, you bitch!
is poised to kill Jake's very expensive avatar. And when you die in Avatar, you die in real life, I think. Fortunately for Jake, Neytiri is there and shoots an arrow at the Colonel and shouts, "Get away from him, you Quaritch!" Jake's human form is dying, so the Na'vi perform a mystical ritual to transfer his consciousness permanently into his avatar. And that, in a nutshell, is Avatar. And now you can tell the gatekeepers that you know the names of at least 3 main characters, right? And so the movie's not 100% original. There might be too much hippie tree-hugging Birkenstock bullshit in it, but it's a message that speaks to our current climate and ecological emergency. And it's not often we get a mega-budget movie with its heart so firmly in that particular place. And also, it looks pretty cool. Does it matter that it's been 13 years since the first Avatar? I don't know, but it took 36 years for a Top Gun sequel to come out, so in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing. So sit back, relax, get some jujubes.
Out there beyond that fence, every living thing that crawls, flies, or squats in the mud wants to kill you and eat your eyes for jujubes.
And let's all find out whether or not it's wise to bet against James Cameron.